Welcome back to Slacker Gaming and welcome back to the Royals Dynasty Rebuild. We have completed year one. Did not go as good as we thought it would, but we got a good draft pick out of it, I guess. Number 2 draft pick, and we are ready to start spring training. There's a bunch of things we're going to do in this episode. We're going to start spring training. We're going to have position battles, our starting pitchers. We got like 7 guys fighting for 5 spots. We're going to have fights for center field and right field, basically all outfield positions. There's like 9 outfielders fighting for 3 starter and probably 2 bench roles. So a bunch of position battles are going to happen in the spring training, and I wanted to kind of go through that way when we get to opening day, we're making the best decisions we possibly can with the best players we possibly can. So if you'd like to watch that, stick around. Let's go through here, and I told you about the position battles, and I'll show you those here in a second. All of these, we filled up the 40-man roster, so definitely looking to maybe trim one, but right now I don't know who it's going to be, and I'm kind of scared just to start trimming people when I haven't seen them play yet. So as I said, starting pitchers, there's a ton of them. We have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I believe. Well, 8, 9. Zerpa is probably going to be in the relief role if he is in the pros. Schwellenbach, I don't know if he sees MLB time. We'll have to pitch with him and see how good he is. You know, he's added that slurve over the off season, so we'll have to see if that's changed how he was pitching in AA last year, AAA, AA. Anyway, the main things we're looking for here, Reagan, Singer, and Lorenzen are probably easily going to be the top 3. Then it's going to be a fight for the last 2 positions between Daniel Lynch, Jack Flaherty, who we brought in free agency, Chris Bubich, or Asa Lacy. If I was just picking, being like, hey, this is what I want, it'd probably be Jack Flaherty and Asa Lacy as the last 2, and then moving Lynch and Bubich into the relief role, or one of them, vice versa. So that's going to be kind of the first battle, is going to be who's going to get that number 4 and number 5 spot on opening day as a starting pitcher. Relief pitching, I'm not really worried about. I'm pretty sure Josh Taylor's going to drop off here. We'll see how everything kind of goes, but I'm not really worried about relief pitching right now. Closing pitcher, MacArthur is our guy right now, but if Will Klein comes in and shows that he could do what he did in AA, which was like a 1.08 ERA through like 60-some innings or something like that, if he could do that in spring training, he could be our opening day closer. You know, we don't know. We did not get one in the offseason, and I didn't want to spend money on one, especially when we're not ready for the playoffs yet. But definitely a position battle that could, basically Will Klein could take that over. Catchers, not really worried about it. I just want to see what Blake Mitchell can kind of do. I think he starts in AAA. We're not really trying to push him up quick to get him to the pros. We're kind of just riding Salvi off into the sunset. Freddie's going to give us that defensive appearances and stuff like that, and he's going to hit okay too. I think 267, not bad. Salvi last year, 201, was not good, but again, 33 home runs, you can't really complain as far as 33 home runs, 89 RBIs, probably the best on our team about all that. So can't really get mad at him for that. And Blake Mitchell, mostly just wanting to see kind of what he could do and how far away he actually is from the pros. First baseman Pasquantino's got this locked down, but Parado could see some additional playing time in the pros this year if Salvador Perez starts struggling and he's not hitting well. Parado could be a guy that we use in that role and get him some extra bats because he can hit. You can't really see his stats last year. Last year, I think at AAA, he had like 287 or something in AAA. So he's definitely a guy that could hit in the pros. Just really hasn't gotten the chance the last couple of years. Second base, we went out and got Ahmed Rosario. Mostly this kind of right here is going to be the position matchup. I do want to see what Kasevich could do. He's probably going to start the year at AAA, but I do want to see what he can do in this role. Third base, Michael Garcia is our starter. Sato, I've kind of decided Sato's going to start in AAA, and then if Markel Garcia struggles again, last year he struggled for most of the year. yeah, 245 average, not very good. So if he really struggles this year, then Sato could be a guy that we bring up later in the season, but definitely not starting him off in the pros. Shortstop, Bobby Witt's our man. Nick Lofton just going to kind of fight for that playing time in that midfield role. He's kind of just that utility guy, plays shortstop, second, third, left, right, center. So he can kind of just play everything. So he's pretty much just like the utility tool. Brando Mayea, I'm excited about, but he's not going to start the season with the MLB club just because, I mean, he's got a little more growing to do. He's only 19 years of age. He's 70 overall. He's getting there. Probably going to eventually move him. Not sure to where. Left field, MJ Melendez is supposed to be our guy of the future, but right now he's not really showing us that he wants to be their guy. But the sad thing is the 18 home runs, the 49 RBIs when he was hitting like fifth or something. So look at those at-bats. I mean, he was getting the at-bats. He just wasn't really producing is really what this comes down to. So Tyler Gentry had an amazing year in AAA last year. I think he kind of earned the right to try to come up and at least fight for a spot. Do I think he's going to overtake MJ Melendez? No, but weirder things have happened. What's really what I told about was outfield. So we have 2 in left field, we have 3 in center, and then we have 5 in right field. So we have to 5, 8. So we have to go through 10 people and select probably 5 spots. So there's going to be about 5 guys or 6 guys here that don't make the MLB roster when we start it. Center field, Orlando Hernandez, I want to see what he can do. I think he's going to be our probably number one. He was our number 1 draft pick. Drafted him like 4th or 6th or something like that in last year's draft. Comes in with the A potential, and I believe it was a 92 or a 94. I really can't remember. I think it was a 92 for him. Currently 74. He is 22 years of age, but that's kind of like why we're like, yeah, perfect. He could come up already. He's already 22. Fast track him to the pros. And that's kind of what we're doing here with him. Kind of just seeing if he's ready for the pros. If he's not, then maybe we do send him down to AAA for a couple months or something to see if he can kind of get his mojo back. But it helps his cause too, knowing that Kyle Isbell is behind him. And Isbell had an okay season, 251 average. But mostly just kind of the defensive guy with the reaction and fielding. Kind of basically all he was used for. Gavin Cross, had to put him on the 40-man to not lose him to the Rule 5, but I do think he could possibly see some playing time this year. But last year he did not play that great, so he has a lot of making up to do for the center field role. And then going over to the right fielder, Kerry Carpenter, probably our day 1 starter unless, something happens or someone just starts tearing it up. But he's probably the best right fielder we have currently on the team, even though he struggled last year at 237. He's proven with 278 that he can do better. So we're kind of just waiting for him to do that. And Hunter Renfroe, going to kind of be the guy that comes in and we try to get as many bats as we can, but won't really play the field and won't really get every day at bats. He's kind of like, if we need to sit a guy or something, or if we need to move someone or someone gets injured, something like that, he'll be there to hit for us. Nelson Velasquez, we're hoping for another big leap. He had a pretty good leap last year. I felt like when he played, he was injured a lot. When he played pretty decent. So we'll have to see how that goes. Zach Veen is the guy that we're really looking forward to step up into this right field role. Currently, last year, 229 average was not good. He got quite a bit of playing time later on in the season. So not a great start for him. But I don't think it's ruined his career. I think that he's still going to be okay, and I think that he could still make an impact for this team. We just have to either see it this spring training to keep him in the pros, or if he's struggling, maybe we send him down AAA, give him a couple months to figure out stuff, the mechanics and everything, and then we'll bring him back up because he's who we want to be our future in right field. So hopefully he can kind of turn it around and right the ship here this year, hopefully in spring training. And then Darian Blanco, I don't know. He's just one of those guys that kind of just fills the role. He does okay, but he's not someone that we're like looking to really push towards being in the pro. So those are going to be the position battles. Again, the starting pitcher and outfield basically are the two big ones. There's other little itty-bitty roles in between there where there could be some position battles, but it's basically finding our starting 5 our starting 5 rotation and finding out all the outfielders we're going to keep and who's going to be going down AAA. So let's just jump into the first game. I think what we're going to do is probably just bat with players that I want to just look at. We'll do Reagan's, and guess I haven't messed with the lineup yet. Maybe with this first one, because this is probably close to our starting lineup right now. Because lefty's on the mound. That's why these were backwards. I was like, kind of weird. And then we'll sub in some of these guys, and we'll kind of hit more with them. So we might actually pick this up later in the game once we've kind of gone through. We'll roll like this for however long, and then once we start making, I think it's 2 at bats. After 2 at bats is when they start subbing people in. Once they start subbing people in, we'll kind of take over and play some at bats with some of the players that we feel like should be getting some playing time and people that I want to see kind of moving forward.
Baseball coming your way. It's the Kansas City Royals and the Los Angeles Angels. First pitch coming your way next. So just about set now, and today's starting pitcher, Patrick Sandoval.
Well, he comes at hitters with a 5-pitch mix, so for him, it's always interesting to see how he utilizes those weapons. He may lean on 1 or 2 pitches depending on how things are going and how things are working, but if he can control 4 or even 5 of those offerings, look out, hitters.
You know how good Reagan's is. We want to see Will Klein, a guy that has been closing games in AA. Believe his ERA last year was like a 1.08 or something crazy like that. So I want to get a look at him. I want to see what he can and can't do, because that's really going to help us determine our closer at the beginning of the season. Because at this point, I mean, this is kind of a toss-up, I'll be honest with you. I mean, heck, Joe Schmo from down the street could be the closer for us if he wanted to. If he got outs, that's all I care about, is the outs. And currently, apparently, we just cannot find someone to do that. What are we doing, Carpenter? Hello?
Drifts towards it, hauls it in for the out.
Scared me for a second. He's just chilling. That's not bad. I feel like it kind of doesn't hang, but it doesn't move a lot. All right, now we're going to start bringing in some of the, I wouldn't say backups, but some of the position battles. Pitchers count for Nick Prado, looking for a little bit of playing time in the pros. Ooh, he's got to take that out yard. Can't foul that away. It's a meat pitch. All right, Blake Mitchell. Oh, let's see what we got. He's got a really quick bat. Really quick flick of the wrist.
That's towards center. Trout settles under it. Hauls it in, and there's 2 away.
Taking it to 3-2 count.
Really good take, especially with 2 strikes.
Oh, and he gave it up.
And he got him.
Gave it up.
For the first out here in the
Would have been a walk.
Man, that slider bearing in.
Orlando Hernandez.
All right, Orlando Hernandez.
First pitch doesn't find the zone.
Coming after him.
Counts 1-0.
Orlando Hernandez.
Now one miss.
No strike.
Could be the rookie of the year. Give us that extra pick next year. That'd be nice.
In the air, left field.
I mean, like what I saw there.
Makes the grab, 2 down.
This dude's gonna be a stud. I just know it. This guy's gonna be an absolute stud. So, got a little bit of work. Got a little bit of look at what might be. So, there's probably, what I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna sim closer to the end of spring training, and then we will start taking looks at specific players based on what they've done, because I don't want to skew the numbers too much. Like, I don't want to hit really, really well with one guy and really skew the number, because then when the computer generates the statistics and crap like that, I don't want it to be like, well, I'm really good with him, but the computer sim-wise is not happy with him. So I want it to be semi-realistic. So I see we jump down to the 16th here. That gives us, you know, plenty of time to make roster decisions, and it would give us time to kind of work through injuries if we have any injuries. Hopefully we don't, but if we do, it would give us time to kind of work through those as well. We're going to skip all of these. I just want it to be as realistic as possible, mostly because I want to see what these players are going to do in the sim compared to me hitting with them. A lot of games. Holy, I'm like playing every game. They're like, hey, you sure you don't want to play? It's 9-12, kind of what I thought it would be. Singer's pitching. Go ahead and sim it. Marsh is pitching. Maybe we take a look at this one. If I had anything, let's take a look at what we got for statistics. Jesus, 19-2 from the Dodgers. Good night. What are they doing? What are they drinking over there? Whatever it is, I want some. All right, starting pitchers. Reagan's. I mean, he's our dude. Singer, keeping him. Lorenzen having a great spring training, so that's good to see from him. He does only have 15 innings pitched. I should have messed with the stupid pitching rotation. Yeah, because these aren't even realistic then. I'm gonna load preseason again and go from there, because I want this to be as realistic as possible. Let's see. So this would be our legitimate. This would be our start. If it was up to me, this would be our starting. This would be our starting five right here. Bubich, Lynch in here, and then Marsh in there as well. And then we got the other guys here. Closing pitcher right now is James McArthur. I do want to see some Will Klein work too at the closer role there. So these are kind of just up in the air about it. Lineup wise, I'll sim. What I'll probably do is sim a week and then change the roster, sim a week, change the roster, sim a week. Because I don't want all of our normal players that are probably going to be like, Bobby Witt doesn't need to start every single game in spring training. Like, there's just no. I know he's going to be starting shortstop. I don't need him to prove that to me. So let's go ahead and sim till the second, and then we'll change up rosters a little bit. And I just feel like that's going to be the most realistic outcome for us, is if we change things along the way. So a second base, if we do him, Kasavich can go to third. Nick Lofton will be a shortstop. First base goes to Prado. DH we'll wait on, because I'll have to see how this stuff piles out. Isbell? Maybe? Isbell. Right field. Let's go Zveen. Center field. Let's go Orlando Hernandez. Catcher. We'll go Big Mitchell, and then Kasavich. And then, so DH would probably be all of these guys start. Hunter Renfroe, maybe. Gavin Cross, maybe. But maybe, you know, we're switching it. I want it to be as realistic as possible. So versus lefty, so a right-handed batter. So like Velasquez would be perfect for that. Catcher, Blake. Center fielder, on there. First base, Prado. So we're 5-3 through that, and then we'll sim another week. So lineup wise, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of the numbers here. Let's go to roster this way. So I think these three are locked down. Now what's going to be interesting is maybe Bubich and Lacey take these last two spots, and then Flaherty and Lynch fight over. We'll pitch with these four guys. These four guys right here, we'll pitch with them before the season's up. Before spring training's up, sorry. Zerpa's going to be a relief pitcher. Relief pitchers I'm not worried about. I do want to play a couple games with Will Klein. I think MacArthur might have had it. It might have figured it out. We'll see. Catcher, doing their things. They're actually all hitting pretty well. It is good to see, though, that Blake Mitchell is hitting 224 against Major League bats, because he's going to be in AAA this year, but it is good to see him kind of succeeding. I mean, 224 is not like great numbers, but it's not bad with a home run, 6 RBIs. It's not bad. First base, I mean, again, Nick Prado is kind of showing that he can slug with the best of them. I'd really love to keep them both up and Prado to use against righties instead of Salvi. But, I mean, Salvi hits righties really well, so we'll see. He could also play outfield, so if we have some outfield scuffles or whatever's going on out there, we can kind of fix that. Massey, I think Massey's still our starter. I think he, depending on the numbers, depending on what he's hitting, I mean, 357, you can't argue with that. Kasavage probably going down to AAA now. I don't think honestly, those are pretty good numbers too. 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. Interesting. Well, I think we send him down AAA, and I think if he's doing really well and one of these two is struggling, then we move Kasavage up, because I'm actually surprised he's hitting that well. 244 is not great, but the 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, I mean, that's pretty darn good. None of these guys have 10 RBIs, 3 home runs. And like Rosario has double the at bat. Oh, not double, like 5 more at bats. Michael Garcia, 273. If he could do that all year, that would be delightful. I would love that. Nate Eaton, probably just going to sit him down. Not really worried about it. Shortstop, Bobby Witt, hopefully he just likes to hit 200s. Look at his stats, 253, 276, and he just hits, well, okay. He better be hitting 280 this year. That's all I'm saying. Pay him too much. We pay him too much. He's too good of a player to not hit 280. Lofton doesn't look like he's been doing very good either, so probably send him down to AAA or AA, depending on where Maia goes. Maia will probably go to AAA, but we'll see. They get split time. Left fielders, Melendez is sadly 222 is better than the other one, so he probably stays up here in pro. I think Orlando Hernandez is going to have a breakout season. I think we have to keep him as a starter. I think that it benefits us and it benefits him to have him start. Meaning, I think you could make a run for Rookie of the Year, which would give us an extra round 1, but it's technically after the first round draft pick. So that would be huge to bring him up and keep him up there, and hopefully he can win that award. I mean, there are obviously going to be other factors in that as well, but I think he has a chance at doing it. Gavin Cross, just not cutting it. Isbell's really not doing that great either. 227 is not much better. At least with Hernandez, like, I know that he's 6 years younger and the same overall as Isbell. It's kind of a no-brainer. Cross probably goes down to AAA, and Isbell might even, I don't know what to do with Isbell, honestly. Maybe just keep him defensively. Right field, Carpenter's actually doing really good. 3 home runs, 14 RBIs, 326 average. That's good to see. So probably going to be our starter. Renfroe struggling, and we knew Renfroe is kind of like, he's kind of one of those, we just hope he plays good enough to trade him. But if he doesn't, like, it might hurt us. Now, we tried to trade him last year, but we could never come up with anything good because he kept getting injured. So hopefully he stays healthy and hopefully he does well, at least early on in the season, so that we can kind of get him, get something in return prospect-wise that's decent. Then we got Nelson Velasquez, who's really struggling, and Veen's struggling, Blanco struggling, 0 average and 13 at-bats. Love to see that. So, yeah, these 3, I would say Velasquez probably stays. I think I want Veen in the pros, but I think Veen would benefit from going down to AAA for a month maybe and kind of get that confidence and kind of build that, I can hit again type of thing. And then we possibly bring him up again once he's kind of done that. But I mean, honestly, there's not really that many position battles left. I think the big position battle now is going to be shortstop. I think right field, Carpenter's pretty much taken that over. It's whether or not we're going to keep 2 of these guys. Center field, Isbell, we're just kind of don't know what to do with him. Orlando Hernandez kind of won that spot. MJ Melendez has won that spot. Gentry will go down. Bobby Witt's won that spot. Nick Lofton will be down probably. Third base, Michael Garcia won that spot. Nate Eaton probably down. Second base, probably Massey wins the spot here so far. Rosario staying there. And then Kasavich, we'll see how the roster goes, but he probably drops down to AAA as well. Pasquantino and Prado both I really like. I think Prado stays up in the pros this year because he can play outfield. That kind of allows us to have an extra bat that we know is good and can still play outfield spots because we don't know what our outfielders are going to do this year. So I think Prado stays up in the pros. And then we'll do Furman, Perez, Blake Mitchell goes AAA, and then we'll kind of figure out the pitching from there. So we are in the last couple of days of spring training before we head to the regular season. Now, there's a few position battles, nothing like too crazy, but there are a couple position battles at the pitching rotation portion. Reagan's is in, Singer's in, Lorenzen's in. The next 4 for the 2 spots are Flaherty, Asa Lacy, Chris Bubich, and Daniel Lynch. None of which, well, Chris Bubich, I would say probably makes it. Now, the last one comes down to either Asa Lacy, Flaherty, or Daniel Lynch. Now, this doesn't mean that whoever doesn't make it goes down to AAA. This only means that they won't be a starter, so they could still be in the bullpen, which I'm almost thinking that one of them makes it to the bullpen for the long relief role, but I don't think 2 of them make it. We'll have to see, though, how everything kind of shifts out at the end, but that's what we're looking at for right now. So I kind of want to pitch with, I would say Chris Bubich is in. I would say the 16 innings and 2.2 is good enough. 1.6 whip. What's these with 1.84 and a 2.36. So I would almost say Daniel Lynch is probably out at this point. I mean, he could be our bullpen, but I think it's down to Flaherty and Asa Lacy. Now, I want to kind of pitch with both. I kind of want to figure out who's actually playing better, who's actually playing worse, because their stats are decently similar. I mean, he's 20 strikeouts through 19 innings. He's got 11 through 15. So Flaherty definitely has some more strikeouts, but Lacy has the lower ERA and the lower whip, which is also important. So I want to kind of take a look at these 2 going forward and the few rest of the games we have. And then I also want to take a look at, when it comes to lineups, I want to take a look at Blake Mitchell. I think goes on to AAA. I think we keep both first basemen. I think both of these second basemen are in. Kasevich, I think, goes to AAA. Here, Eaton might make it just because we need a spot in the infield. However, Michael Garcia is easily our third baseman. Shortstop, I think Witt. I think maybe Lofton stays because he can be that utility role for us there in the infield and outfield. Left field, Melendez, I mean, he's there. He's keeping it. Gentry probably goes down again. Center field, this is going to be the spot that we look at. I think Orlando Hernandez, our guy that we drafted first pick, not our first round pick, not the first overall pick, but I think he probably plays. 229 is the best, unfortunately, out of all the center fielders up here. I think the next question is Isbell or Gavin Cross. I think probably Isbell. I feel like Gavin Cross really needs another year at AAA and hopefully a good year at AAA. before coming up, but this is kind of a position battle that I think is kind of important. The other position battle important is right field. I think Kerry Carpenter obviously our starting right fielder, just based on that right there. 326, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs. He's pretty much our main guy right now. The other ones though, Renfroe, Velasquez, and Veen, and even Blanco. Blanco has 13 at bats, 0 average, so he's kind of out of the mix. Veen hitting 160 through 50 at bats, 143 through 28 at bats, 160 through 25 at bats. Like, something's got to give in here, because we're going to have to at least keep one of these right fielders, possibly 2, because we're keeping 2 center fielders, 1 left fielder, and probably 2 right fielders. So we really need to find someone in here that wants to play right field for us, because Kerry Carpenter is our main guy, but we need rotation guys, that type of stuff. So we need to find someone in here in the last couple days that really wants to stick with the MLB squad, and so that's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into this one and kind of go through it. We're going to kind of go position matchups, that type of thing. Asa Lacy is on the mound, so we will probably pitch mostly with Asa Lacy on this one, just to see if he's going to be kind of the guy we want moving forward. But we're also going to keep other guys, position battles and stuff like that. So let's jump into it and see how Asa Lacy does, and see if the right field can shake themselves out. All right, let's see what Lacy can do here. We did pitch with him in an earlier episode in AAA, and we really liked what we saw. We thought, hey, let's start at the end of at the beginning of the season and see what this guy can do for a full season. So that's kind of what we're doing here today. We're trying to figure out does he make that starting rotation, and if he does, what can we expect of him as our starter moving forward this year. I think he's probably earned the spot to at least try and do some stuff at the major league level, but it's not guaranteed. We got some other starting pitchers that have already proven themselves that they can do it for a full season. So I think Asa Lacy is probably, I think this is probably his, I wouldn't say his one shot, but I don't think we take him down the AAA again this year. I think if he's struggling, we figure out something else instead of taking him down, just because I feel like if you struggle and you get taken down, like, that's kind of it, like chances are you're not coming back up. So I don't want to do that. I think that he does have some stuff. I think he could struggle. Now, unless it's like an astronomical, like we're looking, you're looking at like a 7 ERA through 20 starts. Like, that's a problem. But, high fives, even, high fours, like, we would totally accept that for him, his rookie season and stuff like that. So that all being said, we're just trying to get him off on a good note, try to get him started well, and hopefully he can do a good job here and get us some innings. And you know what? We're even trying to get some like rookie of the year and type of stuff here, trying to get some stuff going and get us that extra pick in the draft. So first of all, Mike Trout. Good hit. Curveball just caught too much of the zone there. And Trout's just too good. Too good to do that. Okay, that slider's drifting. So far, pretty meh. Pretty meh so far.
And now here is Logan O'Hoppe.
Oof, that curve is nasty, though. That curve is really nasty.
Former first-round pick in 2020.
Pitcher needs to work for him, though. The slider and that curve really got to work for him if he's going to be successful in the major league level. He just, again, doesn't have that super strong fastball, so he's going to have to make the other pitches work. All right, Nelson Velasquez was hoping for big stuff last year. Didn't really see it. Hoping for kind of a turnaround this year. Not sure if he's going to be kind of the guy. I feel really, really good in Kerry Carpenter. He's what, 20? Is he 27 or 24 or something? He's actually done pretty good this offseason, this spring training. And we saw some things last year that we really liked about him too. So I think that he is probably our right fielder for at least a couple more years. But like, it would be nice if Velasquez could get something accomplished, like get something good going in the outfield anywhere, really, not even right field, just anywhere. as he legs that one out. Not something he's really known for, but we'll take it. But yeah, we just need him to have a good season. We need him to hit well, trying to just help us in the outfield so that we're not stuck with the same 3 outfielders and there's no like switching or anything.
First pitch misses.
All right, Hernandez, our number, I think it was number 4 in the draft. Could be number 6, don't remember, but all we know is he was our first round pick. And, you know, I got to be honest with you, I expect great things from him, but I don't expect them in the first year. I don't expect him this year. I think 2 years from now, so his 3rd year in the league, I think is when he really steps forward and kind of takes off. But we're hoping for a decent enough year again to try to win that Rookie of the Year and get that extra draft pick. That would be kind of the caveat to it. I think he's ready for the pros from what I've seen after drafting him and everything. I think he's ready. We just got a good season by him, and you know, we're off to the races. We get that extra draft pick between the 1st and 2nd round, and boom, we get a great start to his career. So excited to see what he could do. 3-2 count. Ooh, he's got to fight that off. Hunter Renfroe, another guy we're looking to get going with. 160 in spring training, not good. But I feel like Hunter Renfroe is one of those guys that, I'll be honest with you, we're looking to trade him. He's not going to be a part of our long-term success here. We're mostly just wanting to trade him for some prospects. So we're hoping he starts the year out hot like he did last year. He was hitting like 350 through like the first couple months of the season, and then trade him before he gets hurt, basically. He's going yards, so he's stepping up. He says, okay, you want some trade capital? Here you go. Here's a dinger. Hunter Renfroe. Good to see that. First one in spring training. Yeah, we're just looking for him to have a hot start, and we can kind of use him to trade for prospects and get some of those pieces moving. Zach Veen, another guy we're looking to get going here. Again, we're just kind of looking for that secondary outfielder. And it's kind of between, I think Renfroe makes it, to be honest with you, just because we need him. He's just a hitter. You know, he's going to be our DH in some occasions where like Salvi is behind the plate or something like that. So we're kind of looking for, you know, that extra right fielder. We're also looking at Isbell, see if he can possibly do something for us in center field. So yeah, there's a couple of outfielders we're looking at. We need them to step up at some point. I still don't know when that point's going to be. All right, we'll probably pitch another inning here with Asa Lacy, and then we'll probably sim the pitching portion because, you know, I want to play some extra games here. Don't want to bore you guys with a spring training game. I mostly just want to get a good feel and a good look at what this team can do and what these pitchers and outfielders can do, basically, is what we're kind of looking at, and see if it's something that, you know, is going to set us up in a good spot this year. Because this year is going to be the year that we're looking to get close to 500. I'm not looking to get into playoffs, but I'm looking at we should be getting close to 500. There should be no more 100-loss season. You know, like we should be close to 50-50 this year. Whether that's a couple games over, a couple games under, that's really what we're looking to do here with this year's team. Compared to last year's team, we're kind of just getting our footing, kind of just seeing what we have and kind of getting pieces that we want to move on from, get those and get some trades from them, or we picked up a couple of guys in free agency that I'm actually really excited about this year. So I think that we did a good job of kind of getting the best out of what we had. And now it's just up to, you know, the players to make the plays. And no play made there. I think maybe he could have made it home with the one throw, but I wasn't going to try to risk it, especially when it was not green. God, that pitch is good. It's just, you know, I think it's when he misses his spots. That's really when it just goes haywire, is when he's missing his spots like that. A slider right now isn't biting as much as it should, even to even the lefty batters. That slider still, yeah, it's sticking too much. It really needs to bite more at the end there. which we saw when we pitched with him in AAA. We saw that slider bite, so we know it's possible. But this offense is feeding on it right now. So Lacy's struggling, and Mike Trout, the guy that he gave up the first hit to, up. Oh, he should have just tagged him, but they do get the runner at first, so that's the end of the inning, giving up another 2 runs. But it seems like his timing's just a little off this year so far. Last year, again, there was like moments where he did well, and I was like, yes, this is what we expected from him. Then there was also moments that was like, wow, he doesn't have it yet.
And here it comes.
So we're kind of just waiting for him to either have it yet or be like, okay, enough's enough. Let's try to go a different direction. It's a good rip on that, but I don't think it's going to be deep enough. Fly out.
Makes due to give your team a little bit of length in this one.
Ground ball up the middle. On the run, sends it over to
Oh, I thought the speed got him there. And Daniel Lynch is going to be coming in. We'll see what he can do, see if we like what we see from him. I believe, yeah, 13 games, 15 innings pitched, so he hasn't really started. He's only really pitched kind of as a relief role. And so we've kind of seen what he can do as a reliever, but I kind of want to see him get some extra innings here and see what he can do when he gets more than 1 inning to work with. Because he could pitch completely different as a starter compared to a reliever that's only coming in for an inning. I mean, the pitch selection type is different. I mean, you know, there's just a lot of things that are different. A bad pitch. I think Daniel Lynch really would be a great long reliever. I think he would be an okay starter, but so far the numbers are telling me that he's not so hot on coming out of the bullpen. But we'll see. Ooh, that's a sticky pitch. That's a sticky pitch. .93 high in his side. That's the thing too. I mean, he's just I mean, he doesn't just pitch 98s. You know, he pitches. He's got a good little pitch repertoire right here. He's got some good pitches that I think he likes and that he's good at throwing. But I don't think he's going to be a guy that just overpowers everyone.
Hit hard, that gets through. So a man aboard now with 1 away.
Runner's going. Oh, they've been knocking these hit and runs in well. These hit and runs have been really good so far this game. I think that's their 3rd hit and run now.
Swings and misses, struck him out.
Definitely made him chase.
We'll see if we can get out of it. I have to try to now, otherwise he's going to be going to Mike Trout. Got that high forcing got him. Not a bad inning. Not a bad inning. The hit and run really kind of screwed it up. But other than that, I mean, not a bad inning. Lefty-righty matchup. I really wanted to... I know that the Angels have a lot of righties in their lineups. So I really wanted to get the lefties in because I want to see how they do against righties. I mean, you know, you can look at numbers all you want, but if they struggle versus righties, then, you know, it's not going to be helpful if they're only good versus lefties. Because I mean, no team's going to have all lefties. No team's going to have all righties, but I believe and I could be wrong by the statistic, but I believe there's more right-handed hitters than there are left-handed hitters. Could be wrong about that. I just feel like I feel like just like seeing lineups and stuff, I see more right-handed hitters than I do lefties. Lynch. Oof. Backdoored him. Eesh. Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick right now, I think Lynch makes it, and Lacy doesn't. But I mean, we'll have to kind of play around and see. I want to give them kind of one more shot, probably a sim shot. I'm not gonna play it the next one, but I'll probably do it as a sim just to see how they do, and see kind of what the outlook looks for both of them. I mean, we could go with 2 long relievers, but I feel like it's almost just too much. Ooh,
Swing
that's a
and
good
then
rip.
towards right center.
It's right to him.
Trout makes the
It's a good
grab
rip,
on the
though.
run.
It's a good rip.
And welcome back to
All
the
right,
ballpark.
probably the
All
last
set
inning
the top of the
for
sixth.
Daniel
And now the
Lynch.
DH, Luis
See if he
Rengifo.
does good in this one, gets through
Out
this
in
one.
front with the 0-2 now. Goes down
Yeah,
low.
looks good so far to me.
From-
That one
Foul
stuck
ball,
up.
another 2-2
That's the thing,
on
was like Asa Lacy's pitches are probably better pitches, but I feel like when he missed, he was like in the middle of the zone or very hittable zone. He wasn't missing like outside, like barely, or missing like down and outside or something. Like he was just striking him right through the middle of the zone. And you're just gonna get hit at the pro level. You're just gonna get smashed on it. Got him. Yeah. 3 really solid innings for Lynch there. So maybe Lynch gets that last starting spot and do something with Lacy. I don't know. I don't want to send him to AAA. I feel like he's earned the right. But, so far, I think Lynch has probably earned that spot. Because, I mean, he pitched a really good 3 innings there. We'll see what the sim does. If we go into the sim the next game and, he gets blitzed by the computer, then, maybe we go with Lacy, because what I pitch and stuff is different than the computer simulation, and most of these games will be computer simulated, so I want to make sure that the pitcher we have in there does well versus CPUs and sims, so that's also part of it as well, just because I pitched really, really well with them and got through 3 innings, not giving up like anything, and I gave up 3 runs early with another pitcher doesn't mean that doesn't mean that he gets a starting role. It just means that I'm better with him. But most of these games are going to be sims, so I kind of want to pick who's good against computer and sims and stuff. So I think Veen finally gets a hit here. Good to see him getting some contact on the ball. It's a good inside out swing too. Really was. Not a bad day. I really thought we pitched well with him. I really thought we did well. Now we'll see Will Klein, a guy that pitched in AA last year. We won't actually pitch with him, but bringing him in to see what he can kind of do. He hasn't really gotten that much play time. This looks like they're starting to bring in. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it. We're gonna go ahead and just sim to the end of the game here. Let them kind of do their thing. Carpenter, a 3-run bomb. Like to see that. I feel like we have potential. We have potential to get to 500. I think that's kind of a given. But I really want to see the younger guys kind of just step in this year. Whereas I feel like last year it was kind of a struggle to see all of the young guys just not doing well. Like normally you see like maybe a guy or two does good. But last year it's just like none of our young guys did well at all. So it's something we definitely wanted to see a difference this year, is seeing our younger guys actually playing well. And not just like everyone's a bust on the team, because that's just no fun. But we do win this one, and again, I think I'm going to go through and sim another one just to see how the simming goes for the players, for like, the starting pitcher for like Asa Lacy and Daniel Lynch. I think between those two, those are going to be the 2 guys that go for that last starting position on the 5th rotation. And then I think I kind of know who should be in that right field spot and who should be in that center field spot, but I want to let the sims kind of play out again as well and kind of pay attention to what the sim is giving me, and then we'll kind of make that decision as we do the opening day roster. So that's going to be kind of it for this episode. I'm going to sim to the end here, and then we'll see who we got, and then I guess I'll show you who's going to be on the opening day roster. And then the very next episode, we will be doing some opening day stuff. So we've had quite a bit of guys go through here, and I've really wanted to highlight, normally spring training is kind of like blah, like you just kind of do it, you sim over it, you get over it. But I feel like there were so many good position battles this year that I really wanted to take a look at how they did in those position battles, and kind of let the sim and the CPU and stuff kind of let them pick the roster, and not like who I feel like is, oh, this guy, I like this guy. Like Asa Lacy, I like him, I want him to be a starting pitcher, but if he struggles against sims, there's no real point in having him in there if he's going to struggle. So I wanted to make a good decision when it comes to the team and everything. So Bubic is probably, he probably slides into there to that fourth role. He's been pitching really, really well. I think last year he was in the bullpen with 3 pitches, though. We'll see what he does. If he struggles as a starter, we can always move him to the bullpen. So it's really come down to Asa Lacy and Daniel Lynch on who should be the last one. Flaherty's struggling too, though. I'm trying to figure out what we do with this. So Flaherty, you know what? This is what we're going to do. So we'll pitch Asa Lacy for 3 innings. We'll pitch Daniel Lynch for 3 innings. And then we'll pitch Jack Flaherty for 3 innings. And whoever has the best 3 innings gets the 5th roll. That's what we're going to do. It's weird, I know. I really would never probably do this in real life. But screw it. I think it's going to be fun. I think we put in, let's have Asa Lacy start it, and then we'll bring in Flaherty, and then we'll bring in Lynch for the last 3 innings. And whoever pitches the best 3 innings out of those wins the starting job, wins the fifth and final spot in the rotation. And then maybe the second place guy, whoever has the second best whatever, is in the bullpen, and the last one gets sent down. I feel like that's kind of, it's funny, it's weird, but I mean, if it's fair, I just don't know. I mean, they're both just not playing well. I think Veen goes down. I would really like him to get started in the minors. I think Cross goes down here as well. I think we keep Isbell, Hernandez, Carpenter, Renfroe, and possibly Velasquez. It's a lot of outfielders, but Gentry goes down. Lofton stays. Yeah, I think we know who the right fielder. So I think it's going to come down to the last game on pitching. So who's pitching? Asa Lacy. Again, we're going to do Asa Lacy for 3 innings, and then we're doing Asa Lacy for 3 innings, and then we're doing, and I'm going to sim this. This is not going to be played. We're going to do Asa Lacy for 3 innings, and then we're doing Daniel Lynch for 3 innings, and then Jack Flaherty for 3 innings. And whoever pitches the best out of those 3 innings gets the 5th and final spot in the rotation. And I'm going to sim this. This isn't going to be, I'm just going to sim it. I think that's just more realistic. This game is going to be all sim, so we might as well sim the last game and let the computer decide who our 5th starter will be this year. So we're going to just roll through this really quick and see kind of what we come up with. I also want to forward. So let's do, and I'm just going to sim it. I'm not going to be like, oh, if he has one bad inning where he gives up 11 runs, so be it. I'm not going to take him out and be like, so-and-so needs to be in the next. So next inning, see how he does. Fly out, walk, line out, walk, pop out. Next inning, ground out, single. So far, not so good. So far, not so good for Asa Lacy. Already given up 2 hits in the game so far. Let's see what he does in the 3rd inning. Hit by pitch. Fly out. So he gets through. Does give up 2 hits, though. Not really something you want to see in that. But you can't be mad about it. So next, we're going to do Jack Flaherty. We're going to do this. And then we're going to do a mound visit, Coolio, and then we're going to bring in Flaherty, put in game. Going to give him a couple goes, and then we're actually going to, let's wait an inning, and then we'll warm up the other guy. I just don't want to warm him up, and then they bring him in or something like that. That would be not so good. Okay, so Jack Flaherty finally in the game. We'll see what he does. Gets 3 outs in a row. Okay, that's a good start. Okay, next inning. Fly out, pop out, fly out. Okay. Rolling through him. And then this will be his last inning. Was this Lynch? Did I don't know. Did I do Lynch first or who? Who did I do? Oh, they brought Lynch in, didn't they? So they brought in Lynch last inning. I didn't notice. So what happened? Damn. Well, GG's. I didn't know they were going to bring it. Oh, okay. They're bringing in everyone. That's stupid. Well, to each his own. I feel like Lynch starts there. I think we do Lynch, and then I don't know. I really don't know. I thought it was going to be Asa Lacy and then Lynch and Flaherty in the bullpen. But I could see it going both ways. So we'll have to see. I'm not honestly sure right now. Really not sure what we should do. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. End of the game. Get this thing over with. Good night in the game. Go. Skip. Cool. Yeah, it's down between those two. I think Asa Lacy either goes down or goes to the bullpen. I'm not sure with that. Probably goes down. I want to see him in the pros, but like, if he can't pitch, he can't pitch. And right now, he's out of those three, he is the weak link. So I think Asa Lacy probably goes down to start AAA again this season. And then if there's an injury or if something like that happens, then maybe he comes up. And then Lynch, probably. Maybe I go Lynch and Flaherty both in the rotation, and then I move Bubic into the reliever role. Because the 3-pitch repertoire for Lynch really, or for Bubic really scares me moving forward. So we'll take a look at this here in a second and figure out who I think we should, do with what. I think Bubic probably goes to the bullpen. Asa Lacy goes down to AAA. Lynch and Flaherty get the last two starting roles. That's probably what we do going forward. So that is going to finish spring training for us. We ended up 13-17, but I think the most important thing is figuring out who is going to be starting the season off for us, because I felt like we had a bunch of different people that could start or could be in that 5-man rotation. So now that we've gone through and kind of figured out who it's going to be, we can kind of move on forward and get to opening day. So last thing I want to show you before we finish this episode is I want to show you the opening day rosters. So let's go ahead and advance and set these opening day rosters, and I will show you them as soon as I'm done setting them. We are ready for opening day. Now, going into the season, I think we're going to finish around 500, or that's at least the plan. Now, looking at our rosters, let's go over the lineups first, and then we'll hit the pitching rotation last. So our lineups are our brand new guy, our first round pick, Orlando Hernandez, getting the leadoff spot. The reason I want to do this is for two reasons. I want him to have as many at bats as he possibly can, and he's pretty darn good. Contact right 80, 69 contact left with a 69 speed. So he's not going to be like the get him on steal type of guy. That's going to be Bobby Witt, which is second in our lineup. Kerry Carpenter gets the third place lineup in the right hand, and the left hand goes to Nelson Velasquez. Basically, cleanup guys there. Vinny Pascatino getting the fourth at bat there for a lefty there. Salvador Perez in the DH spot, and that's somebody we're going to kind of move in and out, just move around depending on who kind of has the hot hand, especially in the right against righties. MJ Melendez drops down to 6. Easily could see him jumping up if he's having a good season. Michael Garcia gets to start at third. He's 7th in the batting lineup. Freddie Furman, 8th in the batting lineup at catcher, and Michael Massey at second base. Bats left in the 9th spot. We do have him on Rosario. The reason I did, so he's 29. Michael Massey is 27. I feel like we're just going to ride the hot hand here. Michael Massey is good versus rights. Ahmed Rosario, good versus lefts. So we have that switched around on the other side as well. Ahmed Rosario there batting against lefties. Bench people are Rosario, Isbell, Renfroe, and Velasquez and Eaton. Eaton probably won't play much at all. Velasquez, Renfroe, and Kyle Isbell kind of rotate in that outfield range, and then Ahmed Rosario, probably anything in, any second, third, shortstop, anybody that needs to kind of move around in there. Ahmed Rosario and the other ones will kind of take that over. So now to our pitching rotation. We talked about it. We talked about our starting 5, and it's going to be Cole Reagans getting the opening day pitch off there. So he's second year in a row for the Royals. Brady Singer our 2, Lorenzen our 3, Daniel Lynch our 4, and Jack Flaherty our 5. Going to the bullpen is Chris Bubic, Angel Zerpa, Trian, Schreiber, Hernandez, Loaziagna, I don't know what it is. Anything, Lasagna. And then James MacArthur comes in starting as our closer this year. Last year, it kind of was like he started as a closer and then he kind of backed off, and then we put him back in the role. He ended up with 29 saves, only 4 blown saves. That's actually not that bad. ERA is really high though. 5.43 is not good. So something we're wanting to build on this year. So that means that a few of the guys that we were talking about did move down to AAA. Asa Lacy did move down to AAA, so he's going to be there to start off the season. Again, a guy that if we have starters struggle up here, Asa Lacy, you'll find his way up here very, very soon. Roberto Valdez was a draft pick we had last year. I believe he's our second round pick. You can't tell. I believe he's a second round pick for us there at AAA. Kuehler was a guy that ended up in AAA last year, but I want to start the season with him off in AA. I want him to kind of catch hot and then go to AAA right away. So just kind of how everything kind of fell. He starts at AA, Mazzucato AA, Blake Walters AA, Dorda, a draft pick, Kudrina down in AA, and then DaCosta and Meza, both draft picks down in AA. Relief pitching, Hernandez is up here, all of these guys. Some of our guys we signed like Diekman and Hewler, all these guys, Archie Bradley, these guys are in lower A ball. Closing pitchers, Jake Prince goes down to AAA. Will Klein starts in AAA, but he's a guy that we're going to look at kind of for that closer role. So if he's doing well and James MacArthur is not, then Will Klein might pop up there to the major leagues. Then catchers, Furman and Perez, obviously. Blake Mitchell starting the year at AAA. I think he will eventually make it up. I think it's going to be another year or two away. So the way I look at this, Blake Mitchell's a guy that he's playing very well right now. But I think if he has another good season, that puts him up at like 69 overall, and that means next year he's probably going to be in the majors. So at 21, he'll be in the majors. We're just hoping for a good year. We're hoping for him to improve and kind of play that way. Our another guy is Ramon Ramirez. He's in AA, another one of our high potential guys. First base. I want to be honest with you. I really wanted Prado up here, but I just don't know how it's going to work out because he's not going to get as many at bats, and I'm trying to think like, is he actually going to be used? Is it worth his time up in the majors if he's not really going to play that much? And I don't see him playing that much. So another thing is Pasquantino bats left. If Prado bat right, then maybe I could use him against lefties, but he's also a lefty. So kind of figuring that out, we ended up with Prado down in AAA again. But again, if Pasquantino gets hurt or something, Prado's up here, super quick. Then we go over to second baseman, Rosario, Massey. Both of our guys are going to kind of platoon together. Devaney, Kasavich, Wimmer, Peyton Wilson, all these guys down here. Third base, Michael Garcia. Sato, is going to start the year at AAA. He's another one of our draft picks that we got. I mostly just want to see what type of numbers he's going to pull in AAA before I ever think about moving him up to the majors. He's not really a guy that we're like, okay, well, we're needing some guy in the majors right now. No, we're okay with Michael Garcia as long as he's having a good year. And then Eaton is up there, mostly just a platoon. He plays everything in the infield, everything in the outfield there. Morales gets the start in AAA. Excited about that. Kane Wallace, AA. And then a couple of our other guys, AA as well. Shortstop, Bobby Witt. Hopefully we can kind of turn around last year's bad season. He played awful last year. I mean, he ended up making it okay. Like the 253 is okay, but he played awful last year. So hopefully we can turn that around. Maya going to start the year AA. Really got a really big prospect that we're excited about and hoping that he can he did really well last year, and I think he's hopefully going to do really well this year. We'll get him to AAA pretty quick. I just wanted to start him in AA to kind of get that back going, kind of see some pitches, and then we'll move him on to AAA. Left field, MJ Melendez, the only guy in here that's going to be in the majors probably this whole entire year unless a bunch of injuries happen. Center field, Orlando Hernandez, our first round pick, is getting the start in center field and actually is doing leadoff. Kyle Isbell is in there as well in case we need some center field help, which means that Gavin Cross is now down in AAA, and then Jeremy De La Rosa, another prospect, down in AA as well. And then right field was kind of crazy. Kerry Carpenter, obviously a starter. Renfroe, Velasquez is going to just kind of bat as we need him. Renfroe, again, a guy that we're going to try to hopefully get some good numbers from, and then look at the trade deadline and see if we can pull some prospects for him and get some good return value there. And then Zach Veen, a guy that we thought would make the roster, ends up going down to AAA just because there's just not enough roster spots, and he just did not play well in spring training. So that's what the roster looks like as of now, our Major League AAA and AA. And that's going to be it for this episode. In the next episode, we're going to start opening day and play a little bit into the season, hopefully start off well. Again, searching for that 500 mark, but I'm not sure if this team will be able to do it. They have the potential to do it. It's whether or not the sim and everything works out, and whether or not our players play out of their minds. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Also, feel free to hit that red subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any other Kansas City Royals Dynasty rebuild. Until next time, Slacker out.